ISO 45001:2018 Occupational Health and Safety Management System. Prevent risks, protect people, build a safer workplace. From URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Our email ID is info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 7359458455. This is our WhatsApp number also. We are 24/7 available on WhatsApp. Please contact us through WhatsApp. Hello everyone and welcome to URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Today we are going to discuss one of the world's most important occupational health and safety management standards, ISO 45001:2018. Occupational Health and Safety Management System, commonly known as OH&S Management System. Every organization, regardless of its size or industry, has a responsibility to protect its workers and other people who may be affected by its activities. Whether it is a manufacturing plant, construction company, engineering organization, oil and gas facility, power plant, warehouse, logistic company, hospital, infrastructure project, or service organization, workplace health and safety is a critical business responsibility. Workplace incidents can result in injuries, ill health, fatalities, production interruptions, equipment damage, financial losses, legal consequences, reputational damage, and loss of employee confidence. Therefore, occupational health and safety cannot be managed only through safety instructions or PPE. Organizations need a systematic and proactive approach. This is where ISO 45001:2018 becomes highly valuable. In this video, we will explain what ISO 45001 is, why occupational health and safety management is important, the benefits of ISO 45001, leadership and worker participation, hazard identification, OH&S risk assessment, legal and other requirements, operational controls, emergency preparedness, incident investigation, performance monitoring, internal audits, management review, control improvement, imperfection, implementation steps, certification readiness, and how URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited can support your ISO 45001 journey. So let us begin. Chapter 1. What is ISO 45001:2018? ISO 45001:2018 is an international standard that specifies requirements for an occupational health and safety management system. The objective is to help organizations provide safe and healthy workplaces, prevent work-related injury and ill health, and continually improve OH&S performance. An important point is that ISO 45001 is not simply a safety checklist. It is a management system. This means occupational health and safety should be integrated into the organization's normal business processes. It involves top management, managers, supervisors, workers, contractors, human resources, maintenance, engineering, procurement, operations, and other relevant functions. For example, imagine a manufacturing organization introducing a new production machine. A traditional approach may ask, what is the production capacity? What is the cost? How quickly can we install it? An OH&S approach also asks what hazards are associated with the machine. Can workers become trapped? Is there adequate guarding? Are emergency stops available? What electrical risks exist? What maintenance risks exist? What training is required? What PPE may be necessary? And what emergency arrangements are required? This demonstrates how safety can be integrated into business decision making. Now chapter 2. Why occupational health and safety management system is important. Let's understand why organizations need a structured OH&S management system. First, protecting people. The most important objective is to protecting workers and other relevant persons from injury and ill health. Second, preventing incidents. Organizations should focus on preventing incidents rather than simply reacting after something goes wrong. Third, managing workplace hazards. Workplaces can contain many hazards, including mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, chemical hazards, fire hazards, working at height, confined spaces, noise, vibration, radiation, ergonomic hazards, biological hazards, vehicle movement, and psychological risks. A systematic management system helps organizations identify and control relevant hazards. Fourth, legal and regulatory compliance. Organizations need to identify and comply with applicable occupational health and safety, legal and other requirements. Fifth, improving safety culture. ISO 45001 encourages leadership, consultation, and participation of workers. This can help create a stronger safety culture. Now, Chapter 3, Understanding Hazards and OH&S Risks. One of the most important concepts in ISO 45001 is hazard identification and OH&S risk assessment. Let's first understand the difference between a hazard and a risk. A hazard is a source or situation with the potential to cause injury or ill health. For example, an unguarded rotating machine, that is a hazard. A slippery floor, that is a hazard. An exposed electrical conductor, that is a hazard. Working at height, that is a hazard. Risk relates to the combination of the likelihood of an occurrence of a hazard event or exposure and the severity of injury or ill health that can result. For example, working at a height may have a high potential consequence. Therefore, organizations need to identify relevant hazards and assess associated OH&S risks. A risk assessment may consider what could be harmed, how could they be harmed, how likely is the event, what could be the consequence, what controls already exist, are those controls effective, and what additional controls are required. This should not be treated as a one-time exercise. Risk assessments should be reviewed when processes change, new equipment is introduced, new chemicals are used, workplaces change, incidents occur, new information becomes available, or other relevant circumstances change. Chapter 4, Hierarchy of Controls. When controlling OH&S risks, one of the most important concepts is the hierarchy of controls. The basic principle is do not rely only on PPE when stronger controls are possible. Let us look at the hierarchy. First, elimination. The best option is to eliminate the hazard entirely. For example, if a hazardous manual process can be completely removed through redesign, the hazard may be eliminated. Second, substitution. Replace a hazardous material, process or method with some less hazardous. For example, replacing a hazardous chemical with a less hazardous alternative where technically feasible. Third is engineering controls. Use physical or technical solutions. Examples include machine guards, interlocks, ventilation systems, barriers, automatic shutdown systems, and protective devices. Fourth is administrative controls. These include product procedures, work instructions, training, warning signs, job rotation, permit to work systems, and supervision. Fifth is personal protective equipment. PPE may include safety helmets, safety shoes, gloves, eye protection, hearing protection, respiratory protection, harnesses, and other appropriate equipment. PPE is important, but organizations should not automatically depend on PPE when higher level controls are reasonably practicable. A strong OH&S system focuses on controlling risks at their source. Chapter 5, Leadership and Worker Participation. One of the significant features of ISO 45001 is the emphasis on leadership and worker participation. Occupational health and safety cannot be delegated entirely to the safety department. Top management has an important role. Leadership should demonstrate commitment to providing safe and healthy working conditions, preventing work-related injury and ill health, integrated OH&S into business processes, providing necessary resources, supporting worker participation, and continually improving OH&S performance. But leadership alone is not enough. Workers also need to participate. Workers often have direct knowledge of workplace hazards. They know where problems occur, which procedures are difficult to follow, which equipment creates risks, where unsafe conditions exist, and what practical improvements may be possible. Therefore, consultation and participation can provide valuable information. Organizations should create appropriate mechanisms for workers to report hazards, raise concerns, participate in risk assessments, participate in incident investigations where appropriate, provide suggestions, and contribute to OH&S improvement. A strong safety culture is one where workers feel comfortable speaking up about safety concerns. Now, Chapter 6, Legal and Other Requirements. Occupational health and safety is strongly connected with legal and regulatory requirements. Organizations need to identify applicable legal and other requirements relevant to their activities. Depending on the country, industry, and activities, requirements may relate to factories, construction, fire safety, electrical safety, chemical handling, pressure equipment, lifting equipment, working at height, occupational health, environmental conditions, emergency preparedness, and other workplace safety matters. However, compliance should not be treated simply as maintaining a list of laws. Organizations should understand which requirements apply to which activities, who is responsible, how are requirements implemented, how is compliance evaluated, and what happens when a gap is identified. This creates a more systematic approach to compliance management. Now, Chapter 7, Operational Planning and Control. ISO 45001 requires organizations to establish appropriate operational controls based on identified OH and S risks. Controls can include safe operating procedures, work permits, lockout and takeout, machine guarding, chemical handling procedures, lifting plans, confined space controls, working at height controls, traffic management, contractor management, maintenance controls, and inspection programs. Let us take an example of confined space entry. A strong control process may involve identifying the confined space, assessing hazards, testing the atmosphere, establishing entry requirements, providing appropriate ventilation, issuing a permit where required, providing trained personnel, establishing communication, prepare rescue arrangements, and monitoring the work. The objective is to prevent incidents rather than simply react after an emergency. Now, Chapter 8, Contractors and Procurement. Many organizations have significant OH and S risk associated with contractors and outsourced activities. For example, construction contractors, maintenance contractors, cleaning contractors, security personnel, transport providers, equipment installation teams, and specialist service providers. Organizations should determine appropriate controls for contractor activities. This may include contractor qualification, safety requirements, training, site induction, risk assessment, permit systems, supervision, performance monitoring, and incident reporting. Procurement decisions can also affect OH and S. For example, when purchasing machinery, chemicals, or equipment, safety requirements should be considered before purchase. This helps prevent organizations from introducing hazards through procurement decisions. Now, Chapter 9, Emergency Preparedness and Response. Every organization should consider reasonably foreseeable emergencies. Depending on its activities, these could include fire, explosion, chemical release, gas leakage, natural disasters, medical emergencies, equipment failure, structural collapse, power failure, or other emergency situations. Emergency preparedness should include appropriate plans and response arrangements. Organizations should consider how will an emergency be detected, who will respond, how will workers be evacuated, where are assembly points, who contacts emergency services, how are injured people assisted, what equipment is required, and how will emergency arrangements be tested. Emergency drills and exercises can help identify weaknesses. A plan that exists only on paper may not be sufficient. Organizations need to verify whether their emergency arrangements actually work. Chapter 10, Incidents, Non-Conformities, and Corrective Action. A mature OH and S management system learns from incidents. An incident could involve an injury, a near miss, property damage, unsafe conditions, equipment failure, chemical exposure, or another undesired event. Organizations should have processes for reporting and investigating relevant incidents. The purpose of investigation should not simply be to blame an individual. Instead, the organization should ask what happened, why did it happen, what conditions contributed, were procedures adequate, was training sufficient, were controls effective, were there organizational weaknesses, and how can recurrence be prevented. For example, if a worker slips on a wet floor, simply telling the worker to be careful may not address the root cause. The organization should consider why was the floor wet, was there a leak, was drainage adequate, were warning signs provided, was cleaning controlled, could the process be redesigned, This is the essence of corrective action and control improvement. Now chapter 11. Performance monitoring and measurement. Organizations need to monitor their OH and S performance. Useful indicators may include number of incidents, lost time injuries, near misses, hazard reports, safety inspections, corrective action closure, training completion, emergency drill performance, occupational health indicators, and other relevant measures. However, organizations should not focus only on lagging indicators such as injuries. They should also consider leading indicators. For example, how many safety inspections were completed, how many hazards were reported, how quickly were corrective actions closed, how many employees received safety training, how many emergency drills were conducted, how many workplace risk assessments were reviewed. Leading indicators can provide insight into whether preventive activities are working. Now chapter 12, internal audit and management review. An ISO 45001 management system needs to be evaluated regularly. This is where internal auditing becomes important. An internal audit can examine OH&S policies, risk assessments, legal compliance processes, operational controls, worker participation, training, emergency preparedness, incident management, contractor controls, performance monitoring, and corrective actions. The purpose of the audit is to determine whether the system is effectively implemented and maintained. Following internal audits, management should review the overall performance of the OH&S management system. Management review may consider audit results, incident trends, OH&S performance, legal compliance, worker consultation, objectives, change in risks, resources, and opportunities for improvement. Chapter 13. Control improvement. Occupational health and safety is not a one-time project. Workplaces change, equipment changes, technology changes, employees change, process change, legal requirements change, and new hazards can emerge. Therefore, organizations should continually improve the OH&S management system. Control improvement may involve better engineering controls, improved training, new technology, improved procedures, stronger worker participation, better incident investigation, improved emergency response, and improved risk management. The objective is not simply to achieve certification. The objective is to create a safer and healthier workplace. Now chapter 14, ISO 45001 Implementation Roadmap. Let us now look at a practical implementation roadmap. Step 1. Define the OH&S management system scope. Identify the locations, activities, workers, and processes covered by the system. Step 2. Understand the organization and its context. Means identify internal and external factors affecting occupational health and safety. Step 3 is identify hazards. Means identify hazards associated with routine and non-routine activities. Then step 4, conduct OH&S risk assessment. Means evaluate risks and determine appropriate controls. Step 5, identify legal and other requirements. Means determine applicable occupational health and safety obligations. Step 6, establish OH&S policy and objectives. Means develop appropriate policy commitments and measurable objectives. Step 7, implement operational controls. Means establish procedures and controls for significant OH&S risks. Step 8, establish emergency preparedness. Means develop and test emergency response arrangements. Step 9, provide training and awareness. Means ensure employees and relevant workers are competent and aware of OH&S requirements. Step 10, monitor and measure performance. Means establish suitable OH&S performance indicators. Step 11, conduct internal audits. Means evaluate the effectiveness of the management system. Step 12, management review. Means review performance, risks, compliance, and improvement opportunities. Step 13, corrective action and control improvement. Means addresses non-conformities and continually improve OH&S performance. Step 14, certification readiness. Means once the system is effectively implemented and sufficient evidence is available, the organization can prepare for an independent certification assessment. Now chapter 15, how URGS can support your ISO 45001 journey. At URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited, we support organizations seeking to establish, implement, and improve their occupational health and safety management systems. Our services can include ISO 45001 gap assessment. We evaluate existing OH&S practices and identify areas requiring improvement. ISO 45001 consultancy and implementation. We support organizations in establishing a structured OH&S management system. Hazard identification and risk assessment support. We help organizations strengthen their approach to workplace hazard identification and OH&S risk management. Legal and compliance support. We support organizations in understanding and managing applicable OH&S legal and other requirements. Documentation support. We can assist with OH&S policies, procedures, risk assessments, operational controls, emergency plans, objectives, registers, and relevant records. ISO 45001 training. We provide awareness, internal auditor, and professional training programs. Internal audit support. We support organizations in evaluating the effectiveness of their OH&S management system. Certification readiness support. We help organizations prepare their systems, documentation, and objective evidence for independent certification assessment. Our objective is to help organizations move beyond compliance and develop a proactive safety culture focused on prevention, worker participation, and control improvement. At last conclusion, ISO 45001 2018 is ultimately about one fundamental objective: protecting people. It provides organizations with a structured framework to identify hazards, manage OH&S risks, meet applicable requirements, strengthen leadership, engage workers, improve operational controls, prepare for emergencies, learn from incidents, monitor performance, and continually improve. A successful OH&S management system is not simply about having safety procedures on paper, it is about making safety part of everyday business decisions. If your organization is planning ISO 45001 implementation, consultancy, training, internal audit, or certification readiness, URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited can support your journey. For more information, contact URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Our email ID is info@urgsiso.com. Our mobile number is +91 73 59 45 8455. Consultancy, implementation, training, internal audit, certification support. If you found this video useful, please like the video, share it with your professional network, and subscribe to our channel for more videos on ISO standards, occupational health and safety, quality management, environmental management, auditing, compliance, and professional training. Thank you for watching. This is URGS International Certification and Inspection Private Limited. Prevent risks, protect people, build a safer workplace. See you in the next video.